was divided into two areas, and Ngô Đình Diệm became the first president of the South Vietnam. In the 1950s, Vietnam had become increasingly hostile toward to its Buddhist citizenry. Buddhists make up an estimated 70% to 90% of the population, but Ngô Đình Diệm represented the Catholic minority. He had to prove more than 60% of country population were Catholics. So he enacted discriminatory policies that favor Catholics and neglected Buddhists for public service roles or land allocation. Conflicts become worse and worse in May 1963, and a ban on flying the Buddhist flags on the birthday of Buddha exacerbated the public discontent, and people took to the street in protest. Government forced fire on the ground and killed 9 people. Thích Quảng Đức was head monk of Ấn Quang Pagoda in Hue City. At 8 p.m. June 10, 1963, he left Hue City on a car called Austin 895, now becomes a historical object kept in Thiên Mụ Temple of Hue City. On June 11, 1963, when he arrived at the corner, at that time called Lê Văn Việt and Phan Đình Phùng, he slowly got out and sat down in the middle of the crossroad. He asked one young monk to pour gasoline on his body and fire. That happened in the public and the witness of hundreds of Buddhist monks in Saigon and the international correspondents and journalists. He described in intentions in final note, I respectfully plead to President Ngô Đình Diệm to take a mind of compassion towards the people of the nation and implement religion equality to maintain the strength of the homeland eternity. He also said that I want to leave something for new generation to show for people that how much I love the Buddhism. At that time, nobody knew what something was. After that, the Buddhism Association in Saigon put his body in a coffin. The following day, there was a very big funeral in Chợ Lớn, Chinatown, where the most people were Buddhists. 2 days later, his body was again cremated in An Dưỡng Địa, Phú Lâm, Chợ Lớn. His whole body became ashes. However, the herb was still not burned, even under 4,000 degrees Celsius. This made everybody shocked when they realized that this is what Thích Quảng Đức wanted to leave for the next generation. His love for the Buddhism is too large to be broken. In the final note, he wrote, the second thing is that I want to gamble on my body. When my burning body falls forward, everybody please stop fighting. If you want to follow Buddhism, go other countries to follow Buddhism. But if my burning body falls backward, please stand and fight for Buddhism. After 7 minutes, his body fell backward. After this event, the Buddhist protection insurrection became stronger and spread throughout the country. Students quitted schools, shops closed. Manufacturing stopped, and military got confused of what to do. Malcolm Brown took this picture and made him famous all around the world. This photo appeared on WordPress in 1963 and changed the President John Kennedy's attitude towards Vietnam, and the face of the world has changed. Let's visit a building which witnessed a final result of this event as well as a final result of the world. Saigon was controlled by France in 1860s. They wanted to make Saigon into another Paris in Indochina. The French government had brought their officials and governors to keep power in Vietnam. The original palace were built in 1871 and named Norodom Palace after the king of Cambodia, Norodom Sihanouk, who allowed France to be present in Indochina. The palace was made by the Frank style and was working and living place of France's most important officials. In 1954, Điện Biên Phủ victory forced the French to surrender and Vietnam was divided into two countries. The palace was renamed Independent Palace and was the working living place of Ngô Đình Diệm, the first puppet president of the South Vietnam. Ngô Đình Diệm wanted to make South Vietnam become his own family government, so he gave most important powers to his brothers and sisters. He also issued lots of conservative policies that caused a great deal of sorrow and depression from citizens and even from his own military. A total coup was then arranged to back off Ngô family. Ngô Đình Diệm and his brother Ngô Đình Du were final targets. On February 27, 1962, two pilots from the opponent force of Diệm dropped two bombs, 86, on the palace. Then the event had destroyed the whole left part of the palace, but Diệm escaped. Then he decided to destroy whole buildings and built another new one on the same position. The new one was built from 1962 and finished in 1966. While waiting for the new palace completion, Diệm and his family moved to live in Gia Long Palace. Now it is Hồ Chí Minh Museum in Nam Kỳ Khởi Nghĩa and Lý Tự Trọng Street. However, Diệm was assassinated one more time on November 2 in 1963 and he was not looking like the first time. Diệm and Như were shot on the head on the way from Cha Tâm Church of the Chinatown back to Saigon. It was Diệm who ordered the new palace to be built, but he never stayed any minutes inside. It was Nguyễn Văn Thiệu, the second president after Diệm, that stayed in the new and modern palace for longest time, from 1965 till to April 21st in 1975. The new palace now was designed by architect Ngô Viết Thụ, who studied in architecture in France. It is the great combination of Eastern and Western styles. The first president was Trần Văn Hương for only 2 weeks, April 22nd and April 28th. The last one was Dương Văn Minh for 2 days only, 29 and 30th of April. This was Minh that ordered Diệm to be shot. On April 37th, April 13th was then chosen as Vietnam's Liberation Day. The fall of Saigon and the end of Vietnam War lasted 30 years. In July 1976, the palace was renamed Reunification Palace to mark the event. North and South Vietnam was reunited under the control of the communist North Vietnamese government.